So I have put almost 280 hours now into My Time at Sandrock between the early access and the full release. It's safe to say this is one of my favorite games of all time. And these are all of the things that I wish that I would have known when I first started. And some of them took me an embarrassingly long time to figure out. So I'm here to help you out. My first tip is to get a pet as early as you can. There are a couple of ways to go about this, which I'll talk about in just a second. But first, let me tell you why. Water is the most precious resource in this game. You have to maintain your water levels in order to keep your workshop running. There are ways that you can collect dew in order to create water. You can also buy water, but the thing that is amazing about pets is that you can dispatch them to go out and collect water for you. So the earlier you have a pet, the easier it is going to be on you to keep up with those water levels. Now, in order to get a pet, they do sell a DLC, which is a really adorable gecko that you can get right off the bat. And that way you can just immediately start dispatching that gecko from day one. If you don't want to pay for the DLC, which is totally understandable, there are animals that walk around town that you can befriend and then eventually adopt. You'll get a quest from Elsie pretty close at the beginning of the game, which will teach you how to do this. Then you just need to befriend the animal by talking to it and gifting it as much as you can. You can go on the My Time at Sandrock wiki and see which pets like. My next tip is to always check your quests for time limits. Some of the quests do have time limits, and if you don't complete them in a certain time frame, they fail and you don't get the chance to complete them. Every single commission that you take has a time limit, and there are also quite a lot of side quests that have time limits. Not a lot of the main missions do, but some do. So just keep in the habit of checking out your quests, making sure that there's no time limit so that you don't miss whatever they have to offer. Tip number 3 is to always have an upgrade going at the research center. At the research center, you will have a chance to trade data discs for researching new and better equipment. Even if you don't think that you need something at the moment, or if you're not ready for something, it's better to potentially have that blueprint unlocked when you need it than to have to wait. You can really go in whatever order you like. The order that I like to go in my playthroughs is recycler, furnace, processor, grinder, and then the intermediate work table. Dew collector is also good to get as soon as you can because you'll be able to collect dew to make water, and you will need a drying rack for a quest pretty early on, so that's a good one to get early as well. But ultimately, there isn't a super right or wrong order for you to do this. My next tip is to start befriending X right away, and once they start, do the medical trials every single time they're available if you want to befriend or romance Fang. Fang's friendship and romance is notoriously kind of difficult to get, which honestly I like because it feels so much more worth it in the end. It is so rewarding to see Fang slowly open up to you over time. But in order to actually unlock the ability to give gifts to Fang, you have to reach buddy status with X, which is his pet crow, and you have to have done 8 medical trials in order to start the series of quests that will lead to unlocking the ability to give gifts to Fang. The medical trials are also important beyond just that because the more medical trials you do, the more things that you will unlock for Fang to sell. You'll get higher level medicine, which becomes more important as you go along. Tip number 5 is that hovering over an item at the assembly table will show you where to get it. There are a ton of different materials, and more locations to get materials will unlock as you go, and it can get a little bit overwhelming. Hovering over the items is really an awesome way to be able to quickly see where to get something if you're not sure. Also, on that note, I do recommend the My Time at Sandrock wiki. It is super amazing. I use it all the time, so that's really helpful as well. My next tip is that you can upgrade your existing machines instead of building all new ones. As you go, you will research and unlock upgrades for your machines. Whenever you unlock the blueprint for a higher level machine, instead of building an all new one, you can just go into that machine and upgrade it directly. This has the benefit of saving you on some materials, but you will need a machine upgrade kit, which honestly is a pretty easy thing to get. It drops from monsters, or you can purchase it from Hammer Time for 128 goals. My next tip has to do with sand fishing. Sand fishing was such a struggle for me at the beginning because I didn't know this, which is that when you're sand fishing, wait until the fish lights up green. The fish will go over to whatever bait you put out. It'll pause there, hover over it while you have your sand fishing trap selected, wait till it turns green, and then let go in order to catch it. When I first started sand fishing, I was literally just trying to throw it out there as much as I could, and I was never catching anything because I wasn't waiting for it to turn green. Also, sometimes you can collect 2 fish at once, so if you see 2 fish going to the bait, you can wait for them both to get there, hover over both of them. When they're both green, go in, catch them, and you'll get more than one at once. Tip number 8 has to do with inventory management, which can honestly be kind of a chore in this game. Like I said earlier, there are so many different things that you will collect over time. So if you're anything like me, you will probably have a lot of chests built up. This is a bonus tip, but in order to upgrade your chests, you're gonna have to buy the blueprint for the large chest from the mysterious man who pops up on the 20th of each season, and you can buy the blueprint from him. But my main tip is that you can move between chests easily from the top of the screen. So you don't have to physically go to each chest to check what's in there. You can just go to one, and then you can toggle between them by clicking the arrow at the top of the screen. So basically what I did is I ended up creating an area in my workshop where I just piled up chests, and then I had one chest that I had in an easily accessible place. So whenever I needed to go to my inventory for whatever reason, I could just go to that one chest and then toggle between to figure out where the item was that I needed. My next tip is that you can adjust the length of time of each day. So if you are finding that you just don't have enough time in the day to get everything done that you want to get done, then you can go into the settings and you can adjust that. The days will be a little bit longer, and you can play with that to figure out what the perfect length of a day is for you. Tip number 10 is to always make time for commissions. This is honestly going to be up to your play style, but this is my recommendation. Commissions are the absolute best way to earn money in the game. Personally, for me, this is really the only way that I make money. There are other ways by building things and selling them or growing things and selling them, but the biggest bang for my buck is always going to be completing commissions. When you first get started, you'll be able to do 1 commission per day, and eventually you can build up to being able to do 4 commissions per day as you upgrade your workshop and your skills. I try to do the max every single day. My personal goal is that if I take a commission that day, I want to have it turned in that day. It doesn't always happen. It doesn't have to happen that way. Commissions are timed, so just be sure that you're turning it in within that time period, but you can only have a certain amount of commissions out at a time. So if my max is 3 commissions and I take 3 commissions on Monday, then the next day, Tuesday, if I haven't completed any of those commissions, I can't take any more. So I have to finish commissions in order to get new commissions. Also, eventually with your skill points, you will unlock something where you'll get more gold and reputation by turning it in on the same day. So that's just a habit that I tried to get into from the start. Besides making money, you also get workshop reputation. There is a leaderboard that shows you what place you are in based on the number of reputation points that you have, which you get by doing commissions as well as some quests and things like that. It's really satisfying to get first place. And also, if you finish in the top 3 at the end of the season, you get some cool rewards. Another great thing about commissions is that you get friendship points for finishing commissions. All my BFFs in the game, the people that I earned friendship with the fastest, were people that were consistently putting in commissions and I was completing their commissions. My first best friend was Heidi, because I swear Heidi has a commission like every single day, or multiple commissions every single day. Number 11 is my personal rule. As I get more advanced in the game, I don't always do this, but my personal rule is don't go to bed with stamina. There are definitely exceptions to this if it gets too late or whatever the situation is, but I always try to use up all of my stamina every single day by mining, getting scrap, etc. The biggest help to you in this game is having a good supply of materials built up. This game is exponentially harder if every time you have to craft something or create a material, you have to go out and gather the resources every single time. So I like to try to stay ahead on the resource gathering so that if I need to make a bunch of bronze bars for a commission, I already have that ore, so it's just as simple as popping that into the furnace and getting what I need. So if you maintain that personal rule of not going to bed with stamina, you'll be gathering a lot of materials through scrapping and mining and things like that, and it just really kind of makes the game flow a lot better, in my opinion. And last but not least, my next tip is the biggest tip that I can give you, which is ABC. always be crafting. I always try to keep my recyclers going with scrap at all times, and I also try to keep a good stock of bars and other staples that often get used in commissions or quests or whatever, things like hardwood planks, bronze sticks. You'll kind of get a feel for what are the things that are getting asked for over and over and over again. And so having your machines going, even when there's not something specifically that you are crafting for, is going to be really, really helpful, because it is so satisfying, y'all. So satisfying when you get a commission, you already have what you need, or you get a quest, you already have what you need, and you can just knock it out. And the best way to have that happen consistently is to be proactive and to keep your machines going as much as possible. Bonus tip, take it slow, have fun. This game is so amazing. Make sure that you're checking your map and that you're looking for the side quests, because there are so many amazing moments that you can have with these characters. This game is just so rich and so lovely. One of my favorite games of all time. If you have any other tips that I didn't say, please put them in the comments. And if you are new to My Time at Sandrock, first of all, welcome. I hope this video was helpful. Go into the comments and see what your fellow Sandrock players have to say about things that can help you. Just a reminder that I have a podcast. It's called the Gamer's Hearth Podcast. It posts here and Spotify and Apple Podcasts every other Thursday. And a reminder that I have a Twitch. You can check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Leylindria, where I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays, and we have a really great time there. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next one. Bye.